Way too much. Way too much. I'm out of weed. This is all the alcohol that remains, wine, which is good. I don't really have much that comes to mind right now that I want to talk about. Let's see. Neo, something that I had forgotten to mention is that the vet and the trainer both agree he doesn't really like to be touched, even by me. Sometimes maybe, but not really, so that's cool. Your whole sense of morality is based on just what feels right, and what feels right isn't necessarily what is right. It's the only explanation I have for the backwards morality that I think there is, that's accepted as like okay. For instance, as many of you know, that means the 3 people watching, there's a girl that I was dating and I had very strong feelings for her but didn't think that it would work long term because I didn't think she was quite what I was looking for. I told her that, and she was in love with me, and I loved her, and I was really happy with her, but I just need someone that I can discuss these ideas with. Or not necessarily, but at least someone who can understand what I'm saying. And I didn't really feel like I had that. And so I was honest with her, and I would see other people, but we were still having sex because we made each other really happy. But I kept telling her, hey, go on dates and all this stuff. I even took her to a date one time because she didn't want to go, which you can judge me however you want. But anyway, I just wanted her to be happy, and I didn't think that I could make her happy long term. Then you compare that to, for instance, as I said, I'm watching the show Superstore, and you got your main character, Jonah. So spoiler alert for seasons 3 and 4, which finished in 2018. He has feelings for the main character, played by America Ferrera. And when he is confronted with those feelings, because he finds out that America Ferrera also likes him, he suggests to his girlfriend they move in together. Clearly that's not the moral thing. I mean, everybody knows that's not the moral thing. Even he would say that. But nobody hates him in the store. He should be hated. He suggested that they move in together, and they got along really well, but he knew he had something stronger with the other girl, and he knew he wasn't completely convinced that he should be with Kelly, and yet he suggested they move in together. He said he wanted to meet her parents and stuff. And then on the day the night before this, he's supposed to meet her parents, he says, I think we should break up. And after kissing America Ferrera. That's absolute garbage. Where's the honesty? Where's the integrity? And yet, if it had been me, how I would have handled it, I would have been like, Kelly, listen, something's going on with me and Amy. That's America's name on the show. Well, I know from experience that I would have been treated as the manipulative, taking advantage, emotionally abusive, whatever. So that's another thing. We've talked a lot about rationality in the sense of understanding the objective world, and how we are so compelled by our unconscious judgments of the world. And so we can easily believe all these crazy things about the objective world because our unconscious tells us to. And then, so there's the objective world, and then we can say there's the morality, which is not necessarily an objective thing, because it is, but in some ways it isn't. And I'm not going to get into that because I'm running out of time. But even on the morality side, you've got instincts that drive you to think a certain thing is right, and because nobody steps back and says, let me evaluate. In fact, a really good example from Superstore is this.
Look, I know you don't want to hurt me, but not doing this is hurting me. So, if you're really my friend, please beat the hell out of me.
Should be done by now. And I had that conversation with someone years ago, like 8 years ago. I had this really intense conversation with these people because they were saying that no matter what, you can never hit someone. And I was like, what if the person asks for it? And they're like, no, you can't, because that feels wrong. Anyway, we'll leave it there. No, maybe I can cut stuff out, I don't know. So let me just say this. Also, I had a question today. What is the effect of teaching slavery to black children? We already know that black children prefer white dolls because of what the media presents as being the ideal look, etc. So couldn't we also think that maybe if a black child is learning about slavery and about just how blacks have been mistreated, that they're like, that it gets into their head, oh, okay, I'm subservient, I am blah blah. Because you know I have a strong personality, and yet I don't know whether it's because I'm living in the woods or what, but whenever I'm at the fountain, I'll very happily let someone else go in front of me, particularly say if it's a white person, just because that feels right. I don't know. So I wonder what the effect of that is. Now, that said, every American needs to understand slavery, the civil rights era, and systemic racism and oppression and all of that stuff. It's not really being taught right now, and I wonder whether what is being taught, just the facts about that, hey, you were owned by the ancestors of Timmy there. I wonder how that affects your psychology. And I wonder if there's any way to avoid that consequence. We'll leave it there.
I'm not pressuring anyone.
No, of course not, but I think there's an inherent coercive power that you wield over the employees, even if you're not conscious of it.
Yeah, sure, but I think if I was doing something subconsciously, I'd know it.
Right.
Yeah.